Ever imagined waking up one morning, stepping outside, and instead of blue skies, you see a red horizon stretching endlessly in every direction? The air is dusty orange, the sunlight feels weaker, and the ground is covered in fine red sand. This isn't a dream, this is Mars, our neighboring planet. For decades, scientists and dreamers have wondered what it would be like if humans lived on Mars. It's one of the biggest questions in science and exploration. So today, let's explore that question. What would life really be like if we moved to the red planet? The very first thing you'd notice is the sky. Here on Earth, our sky is blue because of how our atmosphere scatters sunlight. But on Mars, the sky is often a dusty, reddish pink. This is because the thin Martian atmosphere, filled with fine iron oxide particles, what we know as rust. This dust scatters sunlight differently, giving the sky its signature color. Sunrises and sunsets would be stunning, but in a completely alien way. Instead of the familiar golden hues, you'd see a brilliant blue sun setting against a deep red sky. And because Mars is farther from the sun, our star would appear smaller and less intense. The days would feel colder and dimmer, even with the sun shining. Speaking of cold, temperature would be one of the biggest hurdles. Mars is brutally cold. On an average day, the temperature hovers around minus 60 degrees Celsius. That's colder than the coldest winter day in Antarctica. At night, it can plummet to even more extreme lows. Even during the warmest summer afternoon right at the equator, the temperature might barely reach what we consider a freezing day on Earth. To survive, you'd need highly advanced, insulated suits just to step outside. Without one, the extreme cold could cause severe frostbite in seconds and be fatal within minutes. Then there's the air, or rather, the lack of it. The Martian atmosphere is incredibly thin, about 100 times less dense than Earth's, and it's made up of about 96% carbon dioxide. We simply can't breathe it, so if we lived on Mars, our homes would have to be completely sealed habitats, domes, or underground structures filled with breathable air manufactured on-site. Inside these havens, life would feel somewhat normal. You could walk around, work, and relax without a helmet. But the moment you wanted to go outside, you'd have to suit up. The barrier between life and death would be as thin as the wall of your habitat. One of the most fun-sounding differences would be gravity. Mars has only about 38% of Earth's gravity. If you weigh 150 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh just 57 pounds on Mars. You'd feel incredibly light. Walking would feel bouncy, you could jump much higher, and lifting heavy objects would be a breeze. But while this sounds like a great time, it would have serious long-term effects on our bodies. Our muscles and bones would start to weaken because they wouldn't have to work as hard. To counteract this, anyone living on Mars would need a strict daily exercise routine, likely involving resistance training, just to stay strong and healthy. And what would you eat? Mars has no plants, no animals, no natural food sources at all. We have to bring everything with us, or more sustainably, grow it ourselves. This means building advanced greenhouses inside our habitats. These wouldn't be your average garden sheds. They'd be high-tech labs with artificial lighting, controlled temperatures, and soil made from a mix of Martian regolith and specially added nutrients. We could probably grow crops like potatoes, lettuce, tomatoes, and beans. But food production would be a slow, meticulous process. Every calorie would be precious and large. Lavish feasts would be a distant memory. Simple, nutritious meals would be the standard. Water would be just as precious. Thankfully, we know there's a lot of water on Mars, but it's almost all frozen as ice, either at the poles or buried underground. Martian colonists would need sophisticated machines to mine this ice, melt it, and purify it for drinking, growing food, and even creating breathable oxygen through a process called electrolysis. Extreme recycling would be the law of the land. Nothing could be wasted. Advanced systems would capture and purify every drop of water, from shower runoff to the moisture in your breath. On Mars, every single drop would count. So, What would a typical day look like? You'd likely live in a series of interconnected buildings, maybe partially buried underground to protect against radiation and the harsh surface conditions. Your community would have living quarters, labs, greenhouses, gyms, and communal areas. Most people's jobs would revolve around survival and expansion, research scientists studying Martian geology, engineers maintaining the life support systems, botanists tending the crops, and explorers venturing out to map the surrounding landscape. Communication with Earth would be a challenge. Because of the vast distance, a message from Mars to Earth takes anywhere from 4 to 24 minutes to arrive, depending on the planet's positions. This means real-time conversations, phone calls, or video chats would be impossible. You'd send a video message and wait for a reply, maybe getting it 40 minutes later. This communication delay would force Martian colonists to become incredibly self-reliant, solving problems on their own without immediate help from mission control back home. Another silent killer on Mars is radiation. Earth is protected by its magnetic field and a thick atmosphere, which shield us from harmful cosmic rays and solar radiation. Mars has neither. Without this protection, long-term exposure to radiation on the surface would significantly increase health risks. This is another reason why habitats would likely be built underground or covered with several feet of Martian soil, which is a surprisingly effective radiation shield. Life for the first Martian families would create a new kind of society. Children born on Mars might grow up physically different, perhaps taller and leaner due to the low gravity. For them, Earth would be a mythical place they've only seen in videos, a world of vast blue oceans, green forests, and strange animals. Their home, their normal, would be the red desert and the domed cities of Mars. Getting around would require rugged, pressurized rovers. These electric vehicles would be your lifeline when traveling across the vast, rocky terrain. You drive along simple paths carved into the red dust, always prepared for one of Mars's infamous dust storms. These storms can be massive, sometimes covering the entire planet for weeks. They can blot out the sun, drastically reducing solar power and making navigation nearly impossible. But amid all these challenges, life on Mars would be a grand adventure. Imagine being one of the first humans to explore Valles Marineris, a canyon system so vast it would stretch across the entire United States. Or standing at the base of Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system, nearly 3 times taller than Mount Everest. Martian explorers would be discovering new things about our solar system every single day. Building this new world would require incredible teamwork and mental fortitude. The profound isolation, so far from everything and everyone you've ever known, could be psychologically taxing. There would be no birdsong, no rain, no smell of the ocean. To combat this, a Martian community would need strong social bonds, entertainment, and a shared sense of purpose. Looking far into the future, some scientists even dream of terraforming Mars, transforming its environment to make it more Earth-like. This could involve warming the planet, thickening its atmosphere, and eventually introducing liquid water and plant life to the surface. But this is a monumental task that would take centuries, if not millennia. In the end, life on Mars wouldn't be easy. It would be a constant struggle against a harsh and unforgiving environment, but it would also be a testament to human courage, curiosity, and our unyielding drive to explore. It would push the boundaries of science and technology and force us to become more resourceful and resilient than ever before. It would be the next giant leap for humankind, the moment we truly became a multiplanetary species. A life filled with challenges, yes, but also with discovery, wonder, and the honor of writing a brand new chapter in the story of humanity. Thanks so much for watching. If you're fascinated by space exploration and what the future might hold, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. See you in the next one.